This is a fast-paced version for experienced repair techs on how to replace the glass on the iPad 3. For a more detailed version, please follow the link in the description below. Here's a look at all tools necessary for this repair, which include 2 metal pry tools, a small Phillips, small flathead, double-sided adhesive strips, the replacement glass, and a heat gun. To remove the old glass, we'll apply heat around the perimeter of the device. This will soften the adhesive holding the old glass in place, allowing us to pry it up using our metal pry tools. Before we begin the removal process, it's important to note some areas where you need to be careful. The location of the Wi-Fi antenna, the sync port. If it's a 3G version, we'll have 2 3G antennas up top. Our front-facing camera. And on the left side of the device, the LCD screen comes very close to the edge. We're going to be prying in between the bezel and the glass. It's not always necessary to replace the bezel along with the glass, but it can be a good idea. Either way, you want to pry in between the bezel and glass so that you don't scratch the casing. When separating the glass from the adhesive, it's important to keep your metal pry tools level with the glass. Otherwise, you can further crack the glass, making for a more difficult repair. We'll be consistently applying heat around the perimeter of the glass, but focusing on the area that we're currently prying in. It'll be a cycle of heat, pry, until we free the adhesive from the glass on all sides, and we can open the glass up to the left like a book. If you're not able to slide the metal pry tool along a side, chances are you need to apply more heat and further soften the adhesive. It helps to use one of the metal pry tools to keep the glass raised, and the other one to slide along that side. Continue working your way around all sides and freeing the glass from the adhesive. Remember to be cautious of the danger zones pointed out earlier. Also, remember to keep the glass very hot, which is a key element in removing it. With the glass free from the adhesive on all sides, we can open it up to the left like a book, where the digitizer cable is still attached. We'll now need to remove 4 Phillips screws holding the LCD screen in place. We'll be lifting out the LCD in order to access both the LCD port and the digitizer port, which is connected to the front glass assembly. Lift out the LCD screen and fold it over as shown. The LCD cable is still connected. To unplug this cable and separate the LCD entirely, we'll start by peeling back the tape covering the cable and the port. Using a small flathead screwdriver, get beneath the black tab and give it a gentle twist. The black tab should sit in the vertical direction, releasing the tension holding the cable in place. We can now pull the cable free from its port. Set the LCD screen in a safe place until reassembly. Unplug the digitizer cable in a similar manner to the LCD. In this case, we now have 2 tabs which we need to release, as the cable splits at the tip. Recover the home button assembly and top metal camera bracket from the old glass. Both of these components are held on with a light adhesive and can be easily removed with a little heat and the metal pry tool. Next, clean the perimeter of the device, removing all old double-sided adhesive and remaining glass. It's common for one of the corners to be dented during the fall that cracked the glass in the first place. If this is the case, you'll either need to bend out the casing with the pliers, scrape away at the bezel, or cut out a chunk of the bezel in order to accommodate the new glass. The chosen method will depend on the extent of the damage. Next, prep the replacement glass by installing the home button assembly and top metal camera bracket. The pre-cut adhesive strips include 2 pieces for reinstalling the home button assembly. Apply the pre-cut adhesive strips appropriately around the perimeter of the device. Be sure not to overlap the bezel with the adhesive. It helps if you run your small flathead up against the bezel while applying the strips. Next, plug in the new digitizer cable and flip the black tabs back down so that tension holds this cable in place and secures all connections on the cable. Next, plug the LCD cable back in and set the screen back inside the casing. Reinstall the 4 Phillips screws holding the LCD screen down. Before we set the glass to the adhesive, we'll flip the glass over and power up our device and test for the following. Power the device back off and open up the glass. Remove the paper backing from all double-sided adhesive strips around the perimeter. For a stronger bond, we'll apply small dabs of superglue gel spaced about 1/4 inch apart around the perimeter on top of the double-sided strips. Since the glue sits in between the glass and the adhesive, it's not a permanent part of the device and can be removed with the old adhesive if we ever need to replace the glass in the future. It's important to use superglue gel and not original superglue as superglue gel does not run. Using compressed air, blow off any dust particles sitting on top of the LCD screen. The digitizer cable should be bent as shown when we go to close the glass. Quickly remove the plastic protector covering the inside of the glass and flip the glass over so that no dust gets on the screen. We'll first set the left portion of the glass flush with the bezel and close the glass like a book. Work your way around the perimeter of the glass and apply a force to bond the glass with the adhesive. Ensure the glass is flush with the bezel on all sides. Apply small plastic clamps around the perimeter of the glass and let it set for up to 45 minutes. Check us out on the web at gadgetmenders.com, where you'll find a full line of parts and services for this device and many others.